I'm Genevieve Wu. The revised Registers of Electors, which is an updated list of Singapore citizens who can vote, opens for inspection from tomorrow. With it, new laws that make overseas voting easier also kick in. This is a cog in the wheel leading up to the next general elections, which are due by 2012. Asha Purput-Lau sees if they're imminent.
From Tuesday, new laws allow overseas voters to register any time until a writ of election has been issued. They also need to have lived a total of 30 days in Singapore and the 3 years before an election to vote at the 9 polling stations overseas. In Singapore, voters can check their names and addresses at the Elections Department, community centres and clubs or online. The Elections Department says updating these registers was a routine exercise and required by law within 3 years of the last election in May 2006. MPs and analysts also say this is not the time, as the government needs to focus on the economy.
I think an elections at this time, will be an unnecessary distraction. I think there will be a time and place for the people to assess how the PAP government has been doing, but I don't think this is the time, and I don't think it is also the time for the government to capitalise on people's fears about the state of the economy. That would also strike some people as being opportunistic.
Grassroots activity has also not reached a scale that would indicate an election is round the corner. But MPs say it's usual to see political parties ramping up to the next gear at the halfway mark.
Do I see much activity on the ground which would indicate that elections will be like tomorrow? I don't think so. I've not seen very many new faces yet on the ground. Okay? But that does not mean that we should not prepare for elections. I met one of the SDA teams that contested the last elections, and he told me that he was preparing for elections and he will be coming back to recontest in Pasir Ris Punggol GRC.
The Singapore Democratic Alliance will not speculate on when, but says its team is ready and just needs to fine-tune its strategy. Now, when it comes to signs, one of the more definitive ones is the forming of the Electoral Boundaries Review Committee in its subsequent report. From past experience, general elections are usually held a few months after this happens. But when asked about the forming of the committee, the Elections Department said it was not at liberty to disclose anything.